Hi everyone, my name is Andrew and today I'm going to review the most popular professional soccer balls/footballs. If you're not sure which brand to buy and want more information about FIFA Pro certified balls, then you should watch this video. In it, there's information about prices and where to shop for the best deals. I am making this video because, except for Uhlsport, there isn't anyone out there reviewing more than 6 soccer balls. In fact, I don't know anyone at all making a comprehensive video. Today I'm going to review 10 of the most popular soccer balls. Any of these soccer balls can be used in a competitive level game. The key points I'll be talking about are design, performance in different circumstances, and durability. After each review there will be a video which shows the flight of the ball in different situations. The first ball is the Nike Ordem 5, the generic version. The Premier League version, La Liga version, and Serie A have their own colorway. I went for the orange because it's eye-catching. At the moment, it retails for $150 US. I bought mine from soccer.com. With coupons, I ended up paying about $120. There are a few places to get it from. My suggestion is do a Google search, look under all, and then do an image search. Also look for coupons to save a few bucks. To start things off, as for the ball itself, the Nike Ordem hasn't changed much from the Ordem 4. The most noticeable difference is that this year's model features less coloring in favor of a more clean white. It still has the same dark highlight where the panels meet, and it has a motion blur effect. Another small difference is the grip. Compared to last year's model, there were dots in the middle of the panel on the pentagon, and there were circles on the remaining part. The circles were removed this time, and it has dots everywhere except the dark highlight. The materials feel identical, and after using this ball in shooting training and pickup games, it feels exactly the same as last year's model. Compared to other FIFA Pro balls, Nike Ordem has a hard surface, low bounce, and a consistent flight path, which makes it great for quick passes and crosses. You can get a knockable, you can curve it. Once it leaves your foot, it's not hard to follow. I really enjoy the sound of kicking it. On the other hand, in wet conditions it becomes slippery. Amateurs have a hard time kicking it far and controlling it. Goal kicks can be a challenge. The Ordem 5 is a lot slower than the other soccer balls out there. I can say it's definitely for the experienced soccer players/footballers. I would not recommend this for amateur and recreational leagues. A lot of people that I play soccer with complain to me about how hard it is and that it should have more padding. In conclusion, Nike hasn't changed much in the last few years. The same 16 button and panel design with very minor changes. Unless you want to have the latest soccer ball and look like a pro, it is definitely not worth spending over $100. If you really want a Nike ball, I would say go on eBay, on Amazon, and buy the 4-year-old model called Nike Insight. You can buy it for $60 from most buyers. Some even sell it for $40. Also, I've heard they might have it at your local TJ Maxx or Marshall even cheaper. Even after 4 years, this ball feels accurate and padded. I can't really tell it's an old ball. I'm also in favor of the classic Stitch 32 panel design. I don't see any benefits of having fewer panels and gluing them together. If I were to rate it from 1 to 10, I would give it a 7, which means it's still good. The next ball is the Adidas Finale, or the Champions League ball. Adidas hasn't changed for a while now. It's the same ball for a few years now, which in my opinion is a good thing. Why change something that works well? I got this ball from the German Amazon for just $60 US, which turned out to be a real bargain considering that these usually sell for $120. As you can see, the ball has a star pattern, pretty cool design. I have the last year's group stage model in green with motivational words in neon green. Now, in terms of how this ball performs and feels, I can definitely say that this is the best bonded panel ball. The padding on it is just right, not too hard, not too soft either. It's also well suited for amateur and recreational leagues, not just professionals. I tested it with my club soccer team and it feels very accurate and responsive. It's a bit heavier than the 6-panel propeller-shaped Adidas ball used in the World Cup in Europe. One really great thing about this ball is its air retention. I've never had a ball that can keep air for so long. Even after 3 weeks the ball could still be used. The only complaint I have that the star panels have a different grip and are a bit more slippery than the white panels. Overall, this is a solid option if you're considering buying a FIFA Pro ball. I'm rating this 9 out of 10. Next is the Adidas Nativo, used in the Euro 2016, Bundesliga, MLS, and a few other European leagues. Here I have the MLS version, which I got on eBay for $90. I'm not going to talk about this ball too much since a lot of people have reviewed it in the past. What I like about this ball is the build quality. The panels don't overlap at all. This is something that is common on other brands, especially the Nike Ordem. I also like the sound when you kick it. Its padding is very similar to the Adidas Finale. What I don't like about this ball is that it feels a bit light. It's easy to overpower your shot. While this is an excellent option if you play on a smaller field, I would not recommend this on 11v11 games. Overall, it's not a bad choice if you're looking for a soft and light soccer ball. It's also very durable. I know people who had this for 3 years now and has no damage. So, in conclusion, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Next is the Mitre Delta Legend. Drawing inspiration from the 90s models, which used to be the Premier League ball. Currently, it's used in the League Football, EFL Cup, Scottish and Welsh leagues. Each of these competitions has its own variation. I got this ball from Pro Direct Soccer, an online store based in England, for $120. A bit pricey considering that I like discounts. I really like the new graphic on it. It looks fresh and clean. You have these delta symbols along with these triangles. Compared to the last year's models, a few things have changed. The shape of the panel is now a diamond and triangles. Mitre also added grooves similar to the AeroTrack ones on the Nike Ordem. They claim that these embossed grooves provide up to 400% more stability at speeds from 30 to 40 miles an hour. That would be compared to the last year model. This is a bit noticeable. The last year models used to oscillate from left to right if you took a really powerful shot. The new model seems to be a bit more stable. In terms of feel and performance, this ball is very similar to last year's model. The materials and grip pretty much the same, which is definitely not a bad thing. I really like the padding and the little dots grip on this ball. It makes it easy to be accurate with long crosses and shots. Out of all the soccer balls I'm testing, the Mitre is the fastest and goes the furthest. I'm able to kick it over 60 yards easily. One thing to mention that is it feels a bit heavier than the Adidas Finale and the Nike Ordem. It's probably one of the reasons it picks up so much speed. Overall, this is a really fun ball. In terms of technology, this is, in my opinion, the most advanced soccer ball out there. It can be used by both professionals and amateurs. My only complaint would be that this is meant for natural grass and it's not too durable on artificial grass. I used the last year's model mostly on artificial grass and it got a few cuts. This is nothing serious that affects performance, but at this price you would expect everything to be perfect. So in conclusion, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10, which makes it a really good soccer ball. Next is the Umbro Neo Professional. I got it from the British Amazon for $40 US. This is the cheapest ball I have. It is used in the League of Ireland and some of the lower leagues in the UK. It comes in two different colors, green and red. I got the green one because it was on sale. It has a really cool design made of of 3 types of hand stitch panels that remind me of the leaves of a plant. And the valve, it's also very easy to find. It's made out of Teijin fiber and it has hexagonal dimples for grip. Now in terms of feel and performance, this ball feels like a cheaper version of the Mitre Delta Legend. I like that you can kick it far, over 60 yards. You can add a bit of bend, you can blast it without too much knuckle. I don't think you could buy a better ball at this price. What I don't like about this ball is the padding. The surface is really hard and it feels a bit heavy. I guess heaviness is something British, since Mitre also is heavy. At least Mitre balls have a bit more padding, which makes up for its heaviness. I would recommend this ball for professionals that are on a budget. The lack of padding makes it less suitable for amateur leagues. In conclusion, it's really not a bad ball for this price. So I would give it a 9 out of 10. Next we have the Uhlsport Infinity Series 3.0. I got this for $70 from a Spain-based website called Golin. Reasonably priced, I would say. The ball is now being used in the first league in French Ligue 1 under the name of Elysia. There is a generic model which I had at one time but lost, the Coupe de la Ligue Tenor, and the Northern Ireland Football League model which I currently have. It has a 22 panel construction, 2 types of panels, big pentagons and smaller bone shaped ones. The grip is very shallow, looks rather like a 3D print. Uhlsport makes models with different graphics depending on the competition it will be used in. Now, in terms of how this performs and feels, there are no major complaints other than durability. The generic model had one of the big panels come off at one corner. Luckily, I was able to glue it back with shoe glue and it stayed in place ever since. The flight is fairly accurate. The padding is softer than the Adidas Finale, but a bit stiffer than the Mitre Delta Legend. There's not much to complain in terms of performance. It feels like most FIFA Pro balls. So in conclusion, I would recommend it for both professionals and amateurs. 2 things to keep in mind is that it can be slippery in wet conditions, and second, it's not very durable. So in total, I would give it an 8 out of 10 grade. Next, which is absolutely one of my favorites, is the Under Armour Desafio. It is used in the North American Soccer League as far as I know. I got one of these for $80 US on the NASL website. Reasonable price, I would say. This is made out of 32 panels which are hand stitched. I wish that other brands were still doing this. Really nice design with red and blue arrowheads. Since I have the NASL graphic, one of the 2 big Under Armour logos is replaced with the NASL logo and a signature. The grip has little squares similar to the 6-panel Adidas ball used during the last Euro. I'm really pleased with how this ball performs. Once broken in, it feels really easy to control, it's very accurate and goes far if you kick it hard. Almost no complaints with this ball other than that it comes deflated and the panels are a bit soft during the first week of use. I would recommend this ball to everyone. That would be young people, amateurs and professionals. The stitched 32 panel shape is still one of the most reliable things to have on a soccer ball. So I'm proudly giving it a 10 out of 10. Next is one brand that is not well known outside of Europe. The Derbystar Brillant APS. Derbystar will provide match balls for the 2018-2019 Bundesliga season. Not sure if this ball will be like the current models. At the moment, they're using the Netherlands Eredivisie, Belgium's First Division, and some lower leagues in Germany. I got this from a German website for 82 euros, which is close to $90 US. They're also available on the UK Amazon. Here I have the Belgian League version. It has this golden color with the Derbystar name on it. Nice and simple design. If you look closely at the panels, you will see a 3D snakeskin effect, which has a smooth finish and feels like rubber. If you run your hands along the panels, it feels very round, almost like a perfect sphere. In terms of how this performs and feels, this ball is a classic. I would say that this should be the standard soccer ball for all other manufacturers. Like the most 32 panel stitch balls, it feels easy to control. I also like the sound when kicking it. The padding is a bit stiffer than the Under Armour Desafio and the Champions League Finale, but not as hard as the Nike Ordem. I've had this for over 6 months now. No cuts or tears. It's extremely durable. In conclusion, I'd recommend it to both amateur and competitive players, even though there are more padded options out there. I will definitely give it a 10 out of 10, and this is what other soccer balls should be like. Next, we have the Select Brillant Super TB. I got this while I was in my hometown in Eastern Europe. I paid $90 on a Polish website called Argo. They do not ship to the US. The only way to have it shipped to the US is through Uhlsport, which charges $145. One interesting thing about this ball is that you can buy the stitch version for the exact same price. It is used mostly in the Scandinavian leagues. I'm not going to spend much time reviewing this ball because it's already reviewed by Uhlsport. Since Uhlsport and Select are both Danish, their review where they gave it a 10 out of 10 might be a bit biased. This ball has a dual lock valve system which is supposed to keep the ball inflated longer, but it doesn't actually do that. The valve is average or below average. Also, after a few training sessions, it picked up a lot of turf stains. Now, moving on to the good things. This ball has a really good accuracy, it is round, and goes where you want it to go. I happened to experience that myself when I scored a long range goal, and also saw my teammates score such goals. It still feels like a Select ball, though the way that it goes slower than the average and feels a bit big. It's still a good option for amateur leagues and professionals. Two things I don't like about this ball is the padding, which is a bit soft, and the slippery grip. Overall, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because of the 3-year warranty and reliability. Last but not least, we have the Jako Performance 3.0. I got this from the German Amazon for $80. The price is average, but I wish I could find it a bit cheaper. It's used in England's 5th tier called the National League Vanarama, the Russian 2nd Division, and a few other lower leagues in Europe. It comes in a few colorways. The one I have here is the one used in Russia's 2nd Division, and it has this navy contour with a big lava orange center. It has 2 types of hand stitch panels inspired by a Star Wars droid. It is definitely one of my favorite designs on a soccer ball. Now, in terms of feel and performance, this is a very unique ball. If you're the guy who likes to shoot with the inside of your foot and are afraid of putting too much spin, then this is the ball for you. Out of these balls, this is the hardest to bend, ideal for straight shots and chip shots. The weight is average, a bit heavier than the Bazooka in the Champions League, but still lighter than the Mitre. Two things I don't like about this ball is that it's a bit hard and the grip doesn't work well. It's slippery when it rains. I think that at this price there are better options, but if you're a collector or you're looking for a fun ball to kick and has a cool Star Wars-like design, then this might be something to consider. Overall, I'll give it a 8 out of 10 score. In conclusion, what's new might not always be the best option. If you want something reliable and responsive, my suggestion is go for the classic hand-stitched 32 panel balls. My top 3 would be the Derbystar Brillant APS, Under Armour Desafio, and Nike Insight. On the other hand, if you want to try something new and mostly just have fun, some options to consider are the Mitre Delta Legend Jako Performance 3.0 and Adidas Nativo. While you might have a different personal preference, you can go rogue with any of these balls. They're all good. They're all FIFA Pro certified and come with a good amount of warranty. If you have any of these balls and I forgot something to mention, please leave a comment. I'll get back to you shortly. So yes guys, this is the end of my review. I hope this will help you decide better if you want to buy a FIFA Pro ball. Don't forget to subscribe and like my video. I'll be reviewing more soccer/football gear soon.